So next up is Torchlight. So we talked about a little bit about this 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So Torchlight, again, just to recap, it's basically World of Warcraft meets Diablo.
Yeah. It's
right?
I mean it's Diablo 3. Like it's Diablo 3 early, right? Like they basically decide that like the guys that worked at Blizzard were just like, I'm gonna go do Diablo 2 except with better graphics. Diablo 3, you know.
Well,
like,
you know, it is the original developers of 1 and 2, so they're probably at Blizzard's like, hey, we would love to work on Diablo 3, and they're like, oh, I can't hear you from all the money World of Warcraft is making us. Could you please make an expansion for Warcraft 3? They're like,
how about we quit and start our own company?
Yeah, so they did, and they went and made Mythos, I believe, which is a kind of a free-to-play game.
Okay.
They also made Hellgate London. Really bad game. But everybody liked Mythos. I never played it, but people really liked Mythos.
I didn't try Mythos either.
Mythos was like Diablo. So, funny enough, they lost all the rights to Mythos and all the code base, but they just basically recreated it in Torchlight.
Yes. Now, Torchlight, you hop into the game, and this is like...
Dude, this is so World of Warcraft.
It's so World of Warcraft and Diablo, too. I mean, like, it's
but
all...
it looks like it. I mean, like, they almost, like, took so many design cues from what the characters look like, what all the different towns look like, what all the monsters look like, what the interface looks like. I mean, it looks so much like World of Warcraft to me.
You think?
To me, I mean,
I can see.
It's shiny. It's so polished.
It does have the shiny. It does have the shiny to it, which is what World of Warcraft has kind of done. Which is why there's been this big battle where everyone's begging them to not make Diablo 3 look all shiny like World of Warcraft did.
And I don't think they are, especially after we saw the desert. It's pretty drab.
Yeah,
right?
It's true. But so Torchlight, if you start diving into it, you're like, okay, I like Diablo 2. So what am I going to like about this game? You start going through and you're just like, wow, this has everything good about Diablo 2 and a lot of fixes to the pain points of Diablo 2 and a lot of innovations, like you get pets.
Pets are awesome.
Pets are the shit.
You start out the game with a pet.
Like you're like level 1 dude, you have a cat or a dog, and you're running through the world, and the dog or cat has an inventory. You can put shit on them. And
they can carry a ton of stuff, too.
Not only can they just carry a bunch of shit, you can put rings and amulets and shit on them.
And it works.
It works. So you're like dropping rings on. You're like, all right, now my pet does 3 ice damage.
It's like, okay.
You know, whatever. Like,
but dude, the best part about the pet, and I love this, so what you can do is you can say, okay, well, here's all this pet stuff that I have. Like, here's this shit I have in my inventory I don't really care about, so I'm just going to shift-click on stuff and put it on my pet. And then you hit a little button and say, hey, pet, go to the vendor, sell my shit, and come back. It's awesome.
The best feature ever.
Oh, my Diablo 3, you just been served. You better have that.
Seriously, you just got bitch smacked because that is genius innovation. It's sending your pet on bitch missions. You're like, go sell my shit.
And they just 30 seconds, you don't have your pet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then he comes back and you got a bunch more money. How cool is that? Come on, that is awesome. So it's like your pet is just your little slave.
Yeah, and I'm totally down with that. That's awesome.
Yes.
And what's hilarious is like when we talk about how close it is to Diablo 2, dude, it has identify scrolls.
Yeah.
It has town portal scrolls.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. I cannot believe they're not getting sued to shit.
I know.
The music is exactly the same.
That was pretty impressive.
But.
Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, like, we liked Diablo 2. I mean, you go through the worlds and it's got all of the fun of exploration. It's got all of the fun of the leveling and picking all the skill trees. Picking up all the different weapons.
Yeah, Diablo, the skill tree is like one of the first games with the skill trees. And I think they did a really good job because you can really. So I think you can do 3 different classes.
Right.
Berserker, archery type one,
right.
and then I forget the guy.
Mage.
Mage. Yeah.
It's always mage.
Yeah. Of course.
So that's what I always play.
No, but actually I think it might be Necro because he can do minions.
Yes.
So mage-ish.
Yeah, I do like the minions. I've been leveling up that ability a lot because basically the more you level it up, you can like summon an imp from a dead body or summon 2 imps from a dead body or 3 imps from a dead body.
So how many imps do you have at this point?
Right now I've got 2.
Okay.
But you can basically run around and then, so you've got your pet and your 2 imps fucking shit up like a tank and you're back there casting fireballs and shit. So
nice.
like I was basically building an entire party out of minions. So I'm really digging it.
Thanks for letting. So a couple of complaints I have about the game.
Okay.
So they do. My understanding is it does feel like it's randomly generated.
Really?
Well, it feels like it. I mean, you're going through. It's just like you see a lot of the similar types of things, but not all the way.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. But it's randomly generated dungeon, which I'm like, whatever. But it's just like the pacing of the game is a little different from Diablo.
You think?
Well, with Diablo, you have a lot of story elements where you go back and then you like go to the next mission, you go to the next town.
Yeah.
And like again, I've only been playing like maybe 2 or 3 hours. I haven't really seen that. You're going into the mines. You're going to the Torchlight mines. This game's called Torchlight.
Yeah.
I doubt there's another mine that you're going to.
You think? Do you think that's just all one? It can't be the whole game in one mine. Like
I don't know, but I'm just saying it's called Torchlight. You're going to the Torchlight mines.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's got to have more than that. But I mean, on the other hand, it is a $20 game. So I mean,
yeah.
it may be short. We're not sure. We've been playing through it. So I mean, yeah, it could be kind of limited. But I mean, from what I've been seeing so far, I've enjoyed the exploration. I've enjoyed the fact that it kind of amps up where it's like I fought through, the enemies got harder, each level had more enemies. I fought a big boss battle. I've been finding some other stuff. So I mean,
so the bosses are to me, like the bosses are a little too few and far between. You do fight rares occasionally, but they're not that hard. Like in Diablo 2, you'd go down into a dungeon, and every dungeon would kind of have a new guy.
But I think you're kind of forgetting the pace of Diablo 2. Like Diablo 2 is not as fast paced as you think, because basically Diablo 2, you would go like there was 4 worlds. And each world took you like 5 hours, and there was one boss per world.
But you had like 3 or 4 quests you were working on at a time, and like at least with Torchlight you only had like 2.
Yeah.
So like my complaint would be like, okay, look, the good thing about Torchlight is it's actually kind of a test. This is not like a full-on real game that they're trying to like make more off of. They're saying like, okay, we're actually in the progress in the back of the scenes making an MMO that looks just like this.
Right. So if you guys buy a shitload of copies of Torchlight, we're going to release this cool MMO based on the same world and the same characters and the same engine.
And like I like what I see. Like to me, like I hope with the MMO they do have like 1 billion more quests. They do have 1 billion more bosses, because I'm going to play this crap.
Yeah.
Especially if it takes Diablo 3 like another 9-12 months to come out.
Yeah, who knows?
So it looks pretty good.
Yes, I mean, this is another one of those things where I would like for us to come back and kind of give a status report. I mean, yet again, we've mentioned this before. In order to get both these episodes out before I go to London this week, we had to not give these games. I mean, like, honestly, we played these games for like 4 to 8 hours each, which is a lot, but it's not enough. Like, we've had such good games. These games deserve more. Like, Dragon Age Origins deserves like 40 hours.
Yes.
Like, Torchlight deserves 20 hours.
Like, we put like 20 hours in Uncharted before we reviewed it, so we haven't given it as much time as we wanted, just because there's so many.
Right. So we apologize that we didn't get as deep as we'd like to, but we wanted to give you guys the impression so you can come out and get these games. Like, obviously, Dragon Age is a buy.
Yes.
Obviously, I think, like, you've got complaints about Torchlight, but on the other hand,
$20,
when you compare it to the $20 price tag, like, if you love Diablo 2, this is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Absolutely no-brainer. Like, this is worth $20 in a heartbeat.
No question. So, thumbs up.
So yes, please go buy Torchlight, because I would like to see what their MMO is like.
I really do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like with MMOs, I mean, we're not going to play it forever, but I'll play it for a month, and I'll play probably a pretty decent amount with the quality I've seen here, because it's polished to sheer. Like you don't see PC games polished to this level.
No, it looked so good. And like I started out that long meandering sentence with, I would like to come back later and say, hey, we played more of Torchlight. There were more worlds, or there weren't more worlds. I mean, like, hopefully we can come back and just give a little bit of a status report on it.
Absolutely.